Before you book anything else, you need to watch this as I'll give you my 10 ultimate travel do's and don'ts. Hi, it's Melissa here at Ready to Go, where we discuss tips and resources to help you plan your very own travels and create unforgettable memories and experiences. Now, whether you're a first-time traveler or a seasoned traveler, in this video, I'll give you my 10 recommendations on what to do and not to do when booking a trip. And stay tuned till the end as I'll also give you the 5 things you must check when booking a flight. Now, I want to keep making videos that help you with your travel plans, so please write up any suggestions or future topics you'd like me to cover in the comments below. Okay, let's start with the do's. Number 1, research your destination. Now, you can do this by researching videos online right here, or by also asking people on your socials if they've ever been to that destination and what are their recommendations. And another thing I always recommend is to get a Lonely Planet book about the destination you're going to. I know that there's a lot of information online, but in the Lonely Planet books, you always get a brief history of the place as well as important information regarding cultural norms, any important laws that tourists need to know about, and it's just a great all-in-one resource. And in terms of research, you also need to validate whether a visa is required for you to enter that country. Okay, number 2, purchase travel insurance. I know it's boring and no one wants to spend money on that. But let me give you a recent scenario where about a dozen cruise ships were not able to return to port on time in Florida due to bad weather. So with a dozen cruise ships, you're talking somewhere between 40 and 50,000 cruise ship passengers who arrived 7 to 8 hours later than scheduled. So, what do you think happened to all those people who had flights booked in the afternoon? They missed their flight. For those without travel insurance, they had to absorb the cost of purchasing a new plane ticket, and that's if there was availability on that same day. And if there wasn't availability, then they probably had to absorb the cost of an extra hotel room night, meals, etc. Those who did have travel insurance were covered for their missed flight. So you want to make sure that in addition to medical coverage, you have trip cancellation and trip interruption insurance. Now, there are many travel insurance providers, and I'm not an agent, but what I recommend is for you to compare what type of travel insurance is offered by your credit card versus the coverage offered by large companies such as Alliance. I made a whole video about travel insurance, so you'll have the link to that video right at the end of this one. Number 3, make a realistic budget with extra room for unplanned expenses or emergencies. Also, make sure you have enough credit left on your credit cards to be able to purchase a plane ticket back home in case of an urgent matter. Number 4, get a good travel credit card with benefits such as points, free hotel nights, or car rental insurance. Now, Amex Bonvoy is the one I always recommend as I've been using it for over 10 years now, and you automatically get 1 free hotel night per year, which more than makes up for the annual fee. Now, Amex Bonvoy is available for residents of Canada, the US, and the UK. And if you're a Canadian resident, I have a special promo code just for you in the description below. Number 5, check the weather at your destination for the time of year you're planning to travel so that you know what type of clothing to pack. You also want to make sure it's a decent time of the year to travel to your destination because you don't want to get there during, say, something like a rainy season. Number 6, and this one is especially true if you don't travel often, you need to advise your credit card company and your bank that you will be traveling so that your cards don't get blocked and that you can easily get money through an ATM. Number 7, if you take vitamins or prescription medicines, it's important to always carry them in their original bottles. Do not leave unmarked pills in pill boxes as these can get confiscated abroad, or worse, they can also get you into some legal trouble. Number 8, take pictures and paper photocopies of your important documents such as passports and ID cards and leave these copies in a separate area of your luggage or in a different bag, not in the same place as your passport. Number 9, read the latest 5 online reviews of any hotel or excursion you're planning to book. And number 10, for flights, do book directly on the airline's website or app. Now, if there are many airlines that fly to your destination and if you're trying to compare pricing, the best way to do that is to use a third party app such as Expedia. But when it's time to book, you need to book directly with the airline. This will avoid any hassles in case there are significant delays, cancellations, or other issues with your flight. When you book through a third party service, if there is an issue, you have to deal with the customer service of the third party app. You cannot deal with the customer service agents of the airline. For this reason, I always recommend to book directly with the airline so that you can speak to the agents directly and have a much higher chance of getting a good resolution to your issue. Hey, now just before we get to the don'ts, if you're finding this video informative and of interest to you, please take a moment and give it a big like, thumbs up right now. Okay, so the first don't is don't flash your money in airports or public places at your destination. We're all ballers here, but nobody needs to know. Number two, don't draw unnecessary attention to yourself. Try to blend in with your clothing while you're sightseeing, and don't wear any expensive jewelry or watches unless you're in a destination where that sort of thing is very common. Number three, don't exchange money at the airport. It's always the worst exchange rate. Obviously, most places around the world now accept card payments, but you always need some cash for tipping or to maybe purchase something in a local market. So arrive with some local currency on hand and do your research beforehand to find out where you can change money if needed. Number four, don't wear yourself out. Having jet lag, being in unfamiliar places, sightseeing, figuring out how to get from point A to point B, all of this can get tiring. So keep some free time in your itinerary, and if ever you feel overwhelmed or tired, just stop. Stop in a nice quiet cafe or grab a snack and go eat it in the park. These are ways for you to take a breath, relax, and still experience new places. Number five, don't rush. Some of us like to see and do everything when we get to a dream destination, but just know that that's probably impossible. Give yourself time to take in and enjoy all the must-see places on your itinerary and leave some spots as optional. Also, always allow yourself enough time to get from point A to point B. I like to use the Rome to Rio app to look into this beforehand as it gives you all the different modes of transportation, the estimated cost, and approximately how much time each one will take. Number six, don't let your guard down. Make sure your valuables are not in the outer pockets of your backpack. Check that your purse and bags are all zipped up and keep them close to you. Putting an Apple AirTag in every single piece of luggage, carry-on, backpack, and purse is also a good idea as it will advise you on the app if ever an item is being taken away from you. The app will also always let you know exactly where your luggage is just in case it's delayed or lost. I'll put an Amazon link for AirTags in the description below. Number seven, don't go wandering into shady neighborhoods. This should be part of your research before heading to your destination. Number eight, don't assume. Not everyone in the world speaks English. Also, cultural norms and laws in different countries can be very different than what you're used to. For instance, what's the tipping culture? How do people greet each other? What's the noise level? And how do they dress? As an example, if you're on a train in Switzerland, it's quiet time. A lot of useful info about this sort of thing is available in Lonely Planet books and on their site. Number nine, don't be MIA from friends or family. Send them a quick text to let them know you've arrived or if there's a significant delay, and maybe also just touch base every other day or so. And the last don't be shy. Speak with the locals, shopkeepers, ask them for any advice, ask them where they eat with their friends and family. Sometimes this can be better than any guidebook. So there you have your 10 do's and don'ts. And now, as promised, the bonus item today is a quick list of 5 items to check when you're booking a flight. Number one, does the fare include luggage? And if not, how much do they charge? Number two, what's the baggage allowance, the weight and dimensions for both carry-on and checked-in luggage for the type of plane ticket you're purchasing? Number three, if you require any special type of seating, for instance, if you're very tall and you want more leg room, or if you need extra space on the seat, how much is the extra cost for that type of seating? Number 4, if it's a longer flight, are meals and snacks included in the price of the ticket? If not, the cheapest option is obviously to bring your own. Some airlines also allow you to pre-purchase snacks and meals in advance at a lower price than if you're purchasing them on board. And if a meal is included on your flight and you have special dietary requirements such as vegetarian or gluten-free, it's important to mention these in advance to the airline. And finally, number 5, if you need 2 or more flights to get to your destination, make sure the layover time between your flights is sufficient. I like to have a minimum of 60 minutes between domestic flights and 2 to 3 hours for international flights. So that wraps up our list of do's and don'ts and 5 flight items to check. If you found this video helpful, please remember to smash that like button. And to make sure you never miss out on new videos, please subscribe to the channel. Just click the circle icon right here. I'm not quite sure where it's going to go, but it's somewhere around here. So it's free. It just takes 1 second and it really helps out the channel. So please subscribe. That way you make sure you're always ready to go.